Okay guys, it's Rebecca and we are on the little 4-year-old. And so I did a little introduction video to Don Romeo. We call him Romeo, or Rome's for short. He is my 4-year-old that I've had since 6 months, and I've done all his training with him. And we're at the point that we're out in the arena doing walk trot by ourselves. And so I'm going to just do a little demo of like what those rides look like at this age. Helps if my stirrup isn't crooked. And good boy. And kind of what my expectations are at this age. I might not talk a lot because I'll be concentrating on him. We're going for boring. This is what we're going for. We're going for boring. And the reason I say that is that boring is safe. And I want the horse to gain confidence. I want them to learn how to be out here by themselves. I want them to learn how to steer, stop, turn. I want them to try and figure out how to do it themselves. Put him on the bit. There's going to be no activeness on my part. I'm just going to do what is it? Ryan, what's his name? Vanderschaft or something like that. He has these excellent videos out about how to just sort of like ride to the bit and gain the trust of your horse's mouth with your hands. And it's not by being, super passive, but it's not by actively putting them on the bit either. And then eventually when they gain the trust of your hands is when you can, use your seat and legs more to actively put them on the bit. So this is kind of what we do. We come out, I stuck him very, very briefly on the lunge line just to make sure that he didn't have any bucks or anything in him. I haven't really done that much in the past with horses by the time that they've gotten to this age. But with him, he's sensitive. So we kind of come out and we just try and make ourselves successful. So I want him to quietly walk around without a lot of goading on my part to keep walking. He can be a little bit lazy, but he can also be kind of firecrackery, so if that's a word. And so I want, to be able to wrap my legs around him, not be scared of my legs, but I don't want to have to keep telling him to go. We've worked a little bit on steering, obviously, because we're out here in the open, right? So I do not have a round pen that's enclosed, and I do not have an arena that's enclosed. So everything that I do has to be so that I can successfully bring them out here into this environment and both of us be safe. And so I talked in the past about how I do a lot of reward-based training in the beginning to give them confidence and to make it really clear what I want. I don't use a lot of punishment or obviously negative reinforcement because I use my legs to get them to go forward and things like that. But I try and make it as positive as possible, as motivating as possible, and pretty easy as possible so that they build the confidence and they don't get really concerned about, oh my gosh, I got to come out and I got to work really hard. Right now, this age, we're building work ethic, we're building in motivation, and we're treating them like we would a toddler, not a high school student. So I usually come out here and walk around just like this and want it to be quiet and boring. And I might do some circles, some figure eights, things like that. And then in a moment, we'll pick up the TROT and do a little bit of that. If he's super good, that will, we won't spend much time at all out here. If he's having some difficulties, we'll spend a little more time because I just want to end on a good note, but I'll try and, make the, my expectations what they should be for that day, right? I don't come out with this age of a horse with any expectations. Safe, quiet, boring, let them gain confidence, let them learn a little bit about what riding is all about, and go from there. So I'm gonna turn, go, yeah, that's it, bud. And right now I just try and keep him between the aids, like try and teach him what it means to stay between the legs, between the reins, things like that, so he knows that I will be here to guide him, and that it won't be, I just won't be throwing him out there and being like, figure it out. I'm like, I'm here to help you figure it out. Okay, I'll probably stop talking too much because I'm going to concentrate, because I'm going to pick up the TROT. So a little squeeze and up into the trot. Now, we've had a history of, yeah, I'm going to stop talking. We'll talk about it later. Come, come, good. Come, come. Romeo, we don't get to just stop. What's going on today, huh? Please. Good. No, keep going. Good. And ease. Nope. Come. Come. Good. Ease. Come. Yeah, I know. You're okay. Good. Good. Good boy. Good. Come. Ah. Come. Uh-huh. Good. Good. Come. Uh-uh. You stay walking. Try. Good. Yeah. Good. Good. Walk on. Walk on. Good boy. Uh-uh. Good. Good. Try. Good. 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 Good boy. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. No, we missed some dirt. We missed some dirt. Good job. All right. Okay, so a couple things I want to mention. Number one is that he started out really inconsistent, right? Fast, slow, leaning in, veering out, like no real regulation to anything that he was doing. And I just try and stay quiet. I keep my core engaged. I keep my legs wrapped around him, not scrunched against him, but just a nice drape. And I try and keep my posting very consistent regardless of what he does. In the beginning, I'm not looking for too fast of a tempo. If he stops, he usually stops if he's feeling insecure, about the girth, the saddle, me, whatever. At this point, because he is a forward going horse, I'm not worrying about it because I know what it is. Obviously, you know, horses that want to stop and stand up or something, right? You need them to just go forward. But that's not this horse. He's just kind of telling me, oh, I'm a little insecure at the moment. And that's why he does that in the very beginning. But you notice that as time goes on and he feels more confident, he gets more consistent. And then even his neck position gets more consistent. He has a fairly short neck, so I am going to be super careful through all of his training never to shorten his neck at all. And so that's why I'm really letting him take the contact and take it down. I don't want him to take it too far down, just because he's just so inconsistent at the moment that I don't feel comfortable with him. You know, he's not really on the bit going down, so he's, you know. And then what happens, if you'll see what I do, is I kind of say, okay, this is the length of his neck. This is where my reins are going to be. If he starts to bring his neck up, I just widen my reins to take up the slack. So that's why you'll see sometimes one rein will widen, both of them will widen, because I don't want to pull back to take up the slack, because I want to reinitiate just enough contact with the bit again that he kind of pushes back into it. But I don't want to shorten his neck to where he brought his neck. See, that's the really important part of riding him to the bit. But if he shortens his neck and my reins are just draping, he doesn't feel the bit to go back into it. Of course, I don't have a strong hold. That's why I just open the rein. Of course, the opening rein is a really good turning rein at this age too, right? Like I open the rein, he knows to turn to that direction. I open the rein, he knows to turn that direction. We just started these like figure 8 things and they're going really well. So he's starting to learn how to change direction and stay trotting. Let's see what else. I mean, he's really kind of there to start cantering, I think. So it will not be long before we start introducing a little bit of canter, even if it's just, you know, 3 or 4 strides and then back to the trot and gain his confidence in that, because that's just another aspect. He's needed a little bit of confidence in all of this. Let's see what else. Like I said, I half halt if he gets going too fast. I close my leg a little bit if he starts to slow down or stop. I don't make a big deal out of it though. I'm not chasing him off. I'm not getting after him because he slows down or he stops. I'm not getting after him because he speeds up. I'm staying consistent. And you see how that works. It works because at the end he's trucking around and he's either, you know, got his head in a good position or he's starting to reach for the bit. He's not bracing it and bringing it up here. Yeah, and so this is kind of what his life is at this point, out in the open, in the big arena, you know, walk trot. And like I said, he's a little bit behind, but this is the path that he has chosen as far as I'm not going to overwhelm him. I'm not going to push him. We will go on to the next thing when he's confident. So for instance, when he comes out here and he has the trot in the beginning that he had at the end, I'll know that he's really confident about the trot out here in this arena. You know, and then that's probably when I'll really start trying to get the confidence in the canter that I had at the trot, right? So that's where we're at. Every step that they show complete confidence, then we move on to the next step. And that's how you keep a horse that's like sensitive and a little bit on the, you know, hotter side, I would say, by nature. That's how you keep them, you know, that's how you keep it boring at this age, because that way, you know, you don't have to undo anything. You're just, did you just discover that that is sitting on the chair? Huh? Want to go over and check it out? Okay, ho. So we'll go over more of the stuff that I've done with this horse over the past year or so to get him to this confidence level. But that I wanted to introduce you. That's Don Romeo. See you next time, guys.